WhereMyMomsAt. Raising kids, cleaning
You have a
shit.
PhD in the neuroscience of sex. Whoa, what's the craziest shit you've heard?
There's a lot. Oh, I don't know. Let me think of a good one.
Okay. I'll start you off. Yeah, go ahead.
There's actually, so paraphilias, I've listed a couple of my favorite paraphilias. There are people actually, coulrophilia, this is a paraphilia for clowns. So people who actually are sexually attracted to clowns, and that's there. So if you have a true paraphilia, this is your sexual preference. So this is what you need in order to be fulfilled sexually.
Wow. And I've seen clown porn. I had a friend into this. So, but let me ask you, so how do fetishes start? How does it come to be that one becomes attracted to clowns or dirty diapers or whatever?
So we need more research to know this definitively, but there is likely a biological component. So my research was using brain imaging to understand paraphilias. And so it was previously believed that they are learned. So through whatever experience in childhood, I think it's likely a mix of biology and experience in terms of people who are paraphilic probably have some sort of underlying predisposition biologically, and then whatever it is that they gravitate toward is determined by early experiences. So with paraphilias, I say whatever you're into, that's cool, so long as it's consensual. That's no one's place to judge.
Man, I just finished listening to a podcast about an adult baby diaper wear, and I'm like, I love these kinks and stuff. You know, I love it. I'm so vanilla. So when I hear it, yeah, the irony, right? That the PhD in sex is like, I don't care. But to hear this man on this podcast talk about his excitement when he puts on a diaper. I mean, Debra, it was like I have never been that excited about anything in my life. And he was like, I put the diapers on and I feel alive inside. So you're telling me there's a biological component that makes one inclined towards paraphilia in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So there's an initial genetic thing. So it's your reptilian wiring that's like, I don't know, dude, there's going to be an object in my future. I don't know what that special something is. And then, okay, so then is that kind of obviously, is that a misfiring for like wanting to reproduce with another person? Like, does that, you know what I mean? Like, does that's counter biology then? Because then you'd be gravitating towards an object versus a person. Wouldn't that endanger the human, procreation stuff?
Right. That's one thing. That's one reason why I found them so fascinating, because I want to understand why is it that people find, in some cases, like you said, these inanimate objects or behaviors that don't really make sense from an evolutionary perspective. Why is that the thing that they like? Because it's not going to help them procreate. But something like adults, baby diaper lovers, there's probably a masochistic element too. So it's that humiliation. So sexual masochism is being turned on by being humiliated or suffering. So for some people, the idea of being infantilized is embarrassing for them. I guess, did he talk about whether he liked people caring for him? Because that can be part of it too. Yeah.
So then he talked about that there are littles. There are people who like to be in little space, like they do age regression play is what the phrase that he used. And then there are adults, like the people who love to take, be caregivers to the littles and like change the diaper and all consensual. Obviously, they're all adults and they have like rules and guidelines and such. Humiliation, that's interesting. I don't recall him doing that one, but I probably the need to be cared for, and I don't know. So
it's cool too when if you see their I guess you would call it equipment, like the cribs are huge. Yeah. Have you seen? Yes, and the building blocks are huge.
I love it. And again, like this man's enthusiasm, the love of the game. You're just like, man, if I felt that way about anything in life, like he's so lucky that he's like, he knows. So like for vanilla folks like us though, so we're just like, hey, I'm pretty stoked about missionary, but is that because, but like, Should I be uncovering a deeper layer, or is that just am I socialized to be not curious? Am I somehow traumatized into not being more curious?
No, I don't. Well, paraphilias are predominantly in men.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Fucking dudes.
So the only paraphilia you
Dudes.
see in women is masochism. So
What? So, okay, masochism is when I hurt myself, right?
yeah, but not all women. It's just of paraphilias, the only one that you tend to see in women is masochism. But I think that's totally fine. If you're happy and you're content, then there's nothing wrong with that.
So what are these broads like? These are the ones that are into being hit. The women, they like to be hit. Is that what you're telling me?
They could be into, like, BDSM is very common. BDSM is not true masochism or sadism because there's consent involved there and boundaries.
Wait, it's not true. It's not true.
Well, it's not like hardcore real sadism masochism, because with BDSM it's usually more role playing versus masochism, say, or sadism. What's sexually arousing is that the person is actually doing these things and causing pain and suffering. So someone who's a sexual sadist, obviously I don't agree with this because this is not consensual,
Yeah.
but they find it arousing to seriously hurt their partner or cause their partner psychological suffering. But in BDSM, that's just a role play. So you're not really trying to damage your partner.
So what's going on there when someone genuinely wants to harm their partner?
I guess it depends. It's hard to say without actually talking to a specific person, but it can be antisociality. Yeah. It can be, trying to think of the patients I've seen.
Some kind of psychopathy? Is that?
Yeah, it could be that. It can be, there's something called coercive paraphilia. So these are men who prefer coercive sex to consensual sex, but that's a little bit different from sadism, but you will see those together. It's a pretty scary mix, actually. When you say
scary,
really
but fascinating.
Uplifting topics, but yeah.
I love it. Hey, it's my fave. I mean, let's go to the dark side of the force. That's what this is all about.
Awesome.
So women are more into masochism. That's fascinating. And men do more of the harming, which makes sense, right? Male serial killers and stuff. Is this?
Yeah. Well, I think too, because I hear often that it's very common for men to have partners who want to be roughed up a bit in bed, and then they will say, well, I don't know if I'm on board with that because I don't want to hurt you. And then how do you know if it's really consensual, right? Because there are also some women like the idea of having non-consensual sex, and then the male partner then has to decide, is that something he's actually okay with, because that's risky.
Where my mom's at. Where my mom's wearing thongs, hitting bongs at. Raising kids, cleaning shits, need a long nap. Where my mom's at.